My name is JB Bolvadin, and I've built up over the last few years one of the best real estate training companies in the country. I have a huge passion for the business entrepreneurship, and I also have a huge passion for cars. So I decided to get the best real estate entrepreneurs in the country, interview them, and we go through a step-by-step process of what they did to get to where they are today, and we do it driving in some of the best cars on the planet. This is Hot Rides in Real Estate. I gotta see who's gonna be the next guest for Hot Rides of Real Estate. It's gonna have to be someone who is big, someone who's up and coming, someone who's made a big impact, and they gotta be young too.
Yep, no, that's fine. Hey, what's up, JB?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yep, tell him I said that.
Dan.
Yep.
Alright, we out. We got the rodeo today.
Dude, so 26 years old. You take the real estate industry like by storm in just a few years. How many years have you been in this business now?
Thank you. Just over two, probably like 2.5 now.
2.5 years. Top 20 under 40.
Yes, sir.
You have one of the top producing teams in all of New York, not just Long Island.
Thank you.
One of the best as far as in your brand and brokerage. And you're reinventing the way stuff gets done. But like, how did that happen so quickly? Like, how did you even get here?
So I basically, 24 years old, I had left college and I was bartending and I was managing a restaurant, and I was just really unhappy with the situation that I was in. And I feel like a lot of people can relate because it was decent money for my age and at the time, and I was working my fingers to the bone. I was working 70, 80 hours a week, and I knew that I wanted to work for myself. I knew that I wanted to be my own boss. Some of the conversations that I would have with the owner of the restaurant were just very degrading. I was spoken to like I was, a piece of gum under someone's shoe. And you work so hard for somebody else, and you make the same amount of money each week. And for me, I wanted to just be my own boss and have total control over my own happiness, my own financial freedom, and really just my life. So I decided to obviously take the real estate exam and kind of just jumped right into it. And I've been very fortunate and blessed to have taken, like you said, I've been able to do a few things that haven't necessarily been done yet at a younger age than the industry. It's a predominantly older industry, so for me to be able to accomplish some of the things that I am at this age and this early in my career, it's just very exciting, and I'm just working harder than anyone else, I guess.
So the average agent closes about 6 deals a year, average full-time agent.
Yes,
How many
sir.
deals do you have under contract right now?
Currently, we have about 57 deals under contract, and that's obviously me and my team included.
Right.
And they're doing an amazing job.
That's awesome.
And we have a lot of active listings as well, and we've closed a ton. So the idea at the beginning of the year, before COVID and everything had hit, was to sell and help 150 families. We figured that if we were able to reach that number, it was a pretty unrealistic number at that point, or so we thought. We thought that if we helped 150 families, that our job would be done for the year. And it looks like we're going to be close to helping about 200, which is amazing.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. So, and this is just in a short amount of time. So what are some of the biggest things that you implement? What do you bring to the table that's helping you grab all that so quickly?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, you really, it's such like a cliche, a corny thing to say, but you really are in control of your destiny. So if you manifest your dreams and you set these extreme goals, we're sitting in a $350,000 car right now. 2 years ago, if you told me I would be doing this, I would have laughed in your face. So I think part of it is really just manifesting your destiny. And if you tell yourself, hey, I want to do this, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be real estate, whether it's sales, anything. You say, hey, I'm going to set my mind to this. I'm going to release of all distractions. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to party. I'm not going to do this. I haven't seen my friends when I first got my license. I didn't go out for a full year. So my friends would call me and say, hey, do you want to go out? Do you want to go drinking? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I would say no to all of it. So you have almost a mile here.
Okay.
So I would basically tell everybody no. You know, I wouldn't go out. I just every single day, every minute of every day, I was laser focused on studying real estate, educating myself, constantly listening to other entrepreneurs and people that were successful or more successful than me, learning the things that they did that made them successful, their habits, the way that they spoke, the way they educated themselves. And I would basically soak it all up like a sponge and then implement it into my business. So I think a lot of it is just what I've been able to accomplish this far is...
Here we go.
I was about to say, we getting pulled over.
Pulled over.
So how I feel that I've been able to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish is really just putting my mind to something. I've surrounded myself with amazing people. I've done right by a lot of people. You know, you're the same way. Jesus Christ.
There's two more. Another one.
Hi, my name is Ryan Riddle, Director of Sales here at Cliffco Mortgage Bankers. I hope you're enjoying the show. Hey, listen, in 2021, we want to see you and all our referral partners succeed. So we have created a revolutionary way of transforming the real estate industry. If you want to become a mega agent, contact us now at success@cliffcomortgagebankers.com. Thank you.
So yeah, so to be able to do it in the short time, we got interrupted by doing this in a convertible. Probably isn't the easiest, but we got interrupted. So I think your question was just how we've been able to do it, and it's just by being myself and having a great team around me, surrounding myself with good people, and just being different.
Yeah.
You know, some of the videos we were talking about earlier that we do, I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
The same way that we are right now. Like there's no difference between my social media and if you met me in person, I'm the same.
Yeah, no, I noticed that, and I think that's why people like resonate with you and like you, because you're just an authentic guy. You know what I mean? You're genuinely like upbeat. You have a good work ethic, and you like to get things done. So let's actually.
And that's the biggest thing too. Is, you know, some people, they try and put on this facade on social media. They try and be someone that they're not. They, you know, it's not genuine, and people can smell that from a mile away. So, and whether it's, you know, in real estate, I guess specifically, whether it's agent to agent, it's consumer agent, I think people can read that right away, and they can tell that you're full of baloney.
100%.
So I think that just by staying true to yourself, working harder than anyone else, and another big thing too that I've had to learn is not to focus on your competition. Like, your only competition should be yourself. So like the goal that we set to help 150 families this year, that wasn't a goal because of someone else hit that goal. That wasn't a goal because, you know, I was watching someone else and I'm keeping up with them. That was just a goal that in the back of my mind, I felt if I helped 150 families buy, sell, rent, invest, whatever this year, that I would feel accomplished within my heart. So
yeah, 100%. And that's really the right way to do it. So you're not chasing anything but your own potential.
Chasing my own potential, and I think that if we, my team and I, continue to do the things that we're doing, we continue to do the right thing by people, I think that we'll be able to do and accomplish things on Long Island, in New York, and maybe even nationally that maybe have never been done before. So
I love that. So speaking about that, I want to talk about some stuff. You've been doing some, like, you know, I saw you the other day. You listed a property on Belmore. You promoted it by getting in your suit and going on a jet ski.
Yep.
So, dude, you got a lot of hits on that. You got a lot of interest on that. And I just wanted to know, like, when you're coming up with this stuff, are you thinking creative marketing? Are you having fun? What's your inspiration behind that?
So basically, it really just comes to me as I'm driving around like this, or as I'm sitting home, or you know, first thing in the morning. I really just think like, okay, what is the next level that we can bring this to? And what is the biggest thing to get as many views and as many eyes on this house as we possibly can? Because that's the name of the game. Of course, there's negotiating, there's prospecting, and all those things, but once you actually get the listing and you sign the listing, now the objective is how can I get as many people as possible to see this house as I can. So for me, you know, the pool video, the jet ski video, the open house video where the cops came, like these things, I'm just really taking entertainment and real estate and putting them together, being myself, and just trying to outdo myself each and every time and get as many views and hits as I can, because the more views you get equate to the more showings. The more showings you get, the more offers. The more offers, the higher the number of the sale price goes. So social media is something that in this industry that's predominantly older, I have a bit of a leg up and an advantage because you know, I grew up with a phone in my hand. I grew up with social media, so a lot of it for me is just organic. So these videos are just really me just trying to outdo myself, me just trying to get as many views as humanly possible. So, you know, that jet ski video got 30,000 views overnight. We sold the house in one day. So next is going to be me jumping out of a plane at some point. So I think that's the only option at this point.
Dude, I can't wait to see that one.
That's gonna be. I'm definitely afraid of heights too, but the next listing I get that makes sense to do it, that's 100% the plan.
What's the craziest open house you've ever done? Craziest promotion?
Yeah, so I think the craziest one was the video that we have on our social media, on my Instagram page. We had like 200 people show up all at the same time. There were 2 car accidents. Cops came twice. I had an orange vest, like a construction vest, directing traffic. I had Justin Soriano on my team at the front door taking names and numbers, and we were basically texting people and calling people when to come to the front door. And then I had somebody upstairs on my team. I had Jake Biro. I had Mike Repolone at the back door. It was like a total team effort of like seven people directing traffic, doing everything that we need to do to make sure that we kept it safe and as calm as we could. But unfortunately, in that instance, it didn't work out that way. It was safe and it was COVID free, but everybody just showed up at the same time, and it was just madness. It was absolute madness. And the video is on my social media, so if you want to go take a look, you can go laugh at our pain. Please do. But that's our market now. That's the world, and that's real estate right now. Wherever you look, there's low interest rates. There's an extreme deprivation of inventory, and you have a lot of people that unfortunately are coming out from the city to buy their backyard oasis, to buy the pool, to buy that the sidewalk really, and that in a mix of no inventory, and on top of the fact that we were really shut down for 3 months from basically March to July. You have to think there were about 10,000, let's just say, transactions that normally occur from, let's say, March to July on a normal given calendar year. Those transactions didn't take place. So once July 15th hit and we were back to work, we're making up for 10,000 transactions on top of all of the people and the influx of everybody leaving the city. And so that's how you create a mega open house where the cops are called.
So, you weren't doing anything illegal though, right? They couldn't actually really say anything to you.
No, the reason that they did is because we had so many people parked on the same side of the street. Then we had both sides of the street. So we had a UPS truck that tried to come through and they couldn't. So there was a backup for like 5-7 miles, all for an open house. So they didn't realize we were doing an open house. They thought we were having like a block party
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So they came, but it was quickly, quickly taken care of and handled. But it was definitely an interesting situation, and it was very good to get on camera. And most importantly of that all, we sold that house in one day, basically an open house. People didn't even do an inspection, they did nothing. And that same house that was listed on the market 6 months prior with another agent, the seller did nothing to the house. She didn't clean it, she didn't paint, nothing. That same exact house we put up for $50,000 more, and we got $75,000 for her. And we actually had people leaving the open house like, I feel like I saw this house before. But it was because of the videos, it was because of the perception that we created around the house that we were able to get her, the number that she wanted and some.
So what's more important then? If you had to choose one over the other, let's say a brand new agent comes up to you and says, Dan, I have money to invest in training in one thing, marketing or sales. Which one would you tell them to do?
For a brand new agent, I would tell them to begin with sales. And the reason that I feel that way is because without sales, you can't get anything. So even if I went to go, we're talking about marketing, but I could never have gotten the listings if I didn't have the sales expertise or the sales training, or if I wasn't knowledgeable in what I'm doing every day. Nobody would trust me with their house, and then in turn, I would never have the chance to do these creative and silly but amazing videos.
Yeah.
So I think sales really, you should be educating yourself every night, whether it's listening to your podcast, watching something like this, listening to Charles Weinrob, Grant Cardone, all of these different people. Like, you go home at night, you shouldn't be watching Netflix, you shouldn't be playing Call of Duty. You should be going home and educating yourself and listening to podcasts, and you can always learn every day.
100%. I agree with you on that. You got to feed the mind. That's really where it's at. Don't expect anything to change if you don't change yourself, right?
100%.
So, like, when you came on the scene, it sounds like you didn't come from a sales background. You never brokered anything before. You weren't doing marketing. You weren't leading any teams.
No.
So we're 2 years in. You're dominating the sales. You're killing marketing, and you're leading an A-class team. Can you give me a breakdown of when you got started? What are the steps you took? Like, how did this go down? How did this happen so fast?
Yeah. So basically, around the time that I made the decision that I was going to quit my job and get right into real estate, I really didn't know what I was getting into, what I was doing, and it was more so just I hit a rock bottom in my life, and I think it's a very common theme for a lot of people. It kind of takes you to get to that level for you to finally just it hits in your brain and you kind of kick it into gear. And for me, that was where I was at. I hit a rock bottom. I was drinking a lot, being associated with the restaurant business. I was working myself to the bone. I was very burnt out. I was snapping on people. I was not close with my friends and family at the time. So I just knew I needed to make a change. So that was really just for me like the biggest motivator. And what in then turn happened is I realized that real estate is such an interesting business, and sales in general, but that now I have the ability to help people. So growing up, I wanted to become, like, it's silly, but a professional baseball player. I didn't want to become a baseball player because I wanted the fame or because I wanted the money, nothing. I genuinely wanted to become a baseball player because I would watch the Make-A-Wish Foundation stuff, where like Derek Jeter, Mike Trout, like these guys would go to a hospital, like a children's hospital, and they would make these kids like, it'd be like it was their life. Like they were so happy with seeing that professional baseball player. So I wanted to always be a baseball player to have some sort of, have something like associated with that, where I could go and now help and make a difference in the community and whatever.
Right.
So I got into real estate, and day one I started handing out cards. I would go to the local auctions, and I would give out my business card and tell people that I was selling real estate for years. They didn't know the difference. I was constantly educating myself. I was door knocking. I was cold calling everyone I could. Any phone number that I could get my hands on, I was cold calling. And luckily for me, people took a chance on me. And at that point, they didn't really know if I had a sale or 100 sales. And I wound up following through on what I was going to tell everybody. I think we got to make a left here. I promised somebody that I was going to sell their house, and I promised somebody I was going to work my tail off, and that's exactly what I did. And then it kind of snowballed and snowballed. And now we're in the situation that we are now. But it really was surrounding myself with good people. It was educating myself. It was making sure that I knew what I was talking about. And it was really just having the confidence.
Yeah.
I could go walk into anywhere and try and sell this car, and I don't know nothing about it. It's the first time I've ever sat in one.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, I'll probably sell you on the self-closing door. I'll sell you on the vents. I could tell you on how to turn on AM and FM.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of having that confidence and wanting to make a change in your life. And I think that was just a perfect storm for me.
So basically, it's really it's the activity, it's the attitude,
Yep.
and then the skill and the experience come with that.
Absolutely.
After that.
And it's not cutting corners too. So, this business is very crazy where, a lot of people fall off. The success rate is basically, I don't know the exact statistic, but I think almost 90% of agents fail after their first year.
That's right, yeah. And the thing is, it's 90% failure. And get this, in 5 years, 80% attrition. And for people watching doesn't know what attrition means, it means they don't just leave real estate, they don't just leave being an agent, they leave the industry as a whole.
Right.
So they're not even doing that anymore. So that's incredible. Like really, when you really look at it, believe it or not, and I'm not claiming that being a real estate agent is anywhere near as hard as what I'm about to say, but Navy SEALs have a higher graduation success rate than real estate agents.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just people are afraid to stick with it. People are afraid to put themselves out there. And social media, for example, like I post videos, I'm dancing. Like, I'm sure there's people probably that are making fun of me like this, whatever. But if you're worried or you're afraid of what people are going to think about you, what you're posting on social media and what you're doing, then you're never going to succeed. You really have to have the mindset and the mentality of, okay, well, you know what, if someone laughs at this or if someone makes fun of me or if I have a hater, so to speak, what do I care what they think? If I go home late at night and I'm thinking of what someone's going to think about my videos, I'll be up all night and I'll be afraid to go out there and reach my full potential and do what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So you really have to have that mentality and that mindset of not caring what other people are going to think. And you have to just be at that point where you're fed up and you want to make a change in your life.
Yeah.
Because if you're not at that point, then you're not going to put 100% effort into it and you're not going to do the necessary steps and the things that you need to accomplish your goals. That's because, think about it, how many people are afraid, and I was in the beginning too, to go do a Facebook Live or to do an Instagram Live or to be sitting here with a GoPro in front of us.
Yeah.
People are terrified. How am I going to look? How am I going to sound? And the more that you dwell on that, it limits your creativity. And it limits what you're able to accomplish.
Yeah, and it's really being afraid of nothing when you really think about it.
Yeah. Because
it's actually harder not to do it than to do it. And the amount of energy required to not do something is more than the energy required to do something.
Absolutely.
So don't be a prisoner to anything. I was actually doing
a prisoner of your own mind.
It really is.
Truly.
Yeah.
I tell my team all the time because they're a little bit afraid of doing the video and that kind of stuff. And the same people that probably made fun of me 2 years ago, or that was like, oh, Dan O'Neill's getting his real size, those same people now message me or now call me or text me and they ask for my help, they ask for advice, they tell me how much they love what I'm doing, walk around town, oh, you're doing, you're killing it, you're doing a great job. Those are the same people that were probably, or at least I know of, that were making fun of me and, judging what I was doing, but now look, in just 2 years, how much we're sitting in a Rolls Royce. So how much times have, how much has changed? But you have to go out and do it. You have to go out and get it for yourself.
100%. And there's actually one of my favorite books. This is where I learned this from. Is 10x rule. Here's how this works. First thing that happens when you start to take action and grow your business or grow yourself is you get attention. Next thing you get is criticism. Then the next thing you get is hate, and finally what you get is admiration.
Yep.
And your friends is a great example. They were criticizing you, maybe even hated on you a little bit.
Right.
And now the admiration flow went up.
Exactly. And it's not even necessarily friends, it's just people that you know and through town and so on and so forth. But I think in this business, and I got off on a tangent, but I think one of the biggest things is just being, in the simplest things, is just being a good person as well.
Yeah.
So in this business, it's very small, even though there are 33,000 agents in this business. The island is very, very small.
It is.
So by being a good person and doing the right thing and not cutting corners, a lot of people, when they first get their license, they try and cut corners. They try and make money here, and they do this that maybe isn't the right thing to do to make a quick buck. But I preach all the time to my team, and it's happening for them. If you just put the right energy into the world, and if you do the right thing, it will come back to you 1,000,000-fold.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean me or you doing the right thing. It doesn't mean just doing the right thing at 7-Eleven when I meet someone. It's just when all the time, and especially when someone's not watching. If you do the right thing and you don't cut any corners, you're going to be extremely successful.
100%. There is no shortcut to it, but
No.
when you take the long way, you actually end up getting the shortcut in life because you get your success a lot faster.
Absolutely.
And it's more stable. Funny thing about haters is this. When someone's getting started, they start to get discouraged because maybe people around them are haters. But here's why you know that you still have haters.
Yeah.
But now it's not your friends and peers, it's other people in the industry.
Yep.
Right? So like what's going on is that some people won't actually say it, some people will actually confront it.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned earlier when we were talking, you just started going out east.
Yes.
And you have a property in Southampton, which is very, very niche-y.
Absolutely.
This is it, right?
Yes, sir.
Speaking of that, the camera can't see it yet, but we're pulling up to one of your properties right now.
Yeah. So this is 3129 Judith Drive in Belmore, and this was a $1.2 million house that was previously on the market with another agent for 6 months. We took it over. We made the jet ski video that got basically 30,000 views overnight between YouTube and Instagram and all the platforms, and we wound up with I think 12 total offers, and we sold it for over asking price, and basically we're under full contract already, and it was basically under a week. So that ties into the social media and the marketing and the silly video I did on a jet ski, but it worked out and the seller's extremely happy.
That's awesome. Dude, that's crazy. So in 6 months, someone else can do something you did in basically 6 hours?
Listen, I'm not gonna say that, but it's all what you put into it, the effort.
Yeah.
And I think what you were going back to with the Hamptons and that kind of stuff too. It's a very niche industry and community. So of course you're gonna have haters. Of course there are gonna be people that look down on me because I am 26 years old and because I've only been in the business for 2 years, and my team as well. And
you're not even from there.
I'm not from the Hamptons, of course. But really, at the end of the day, I don't think any of those things should matter. I don't think that my age should matter. I don't think my experience should matter. I understand where people have been there for 40, 50 years, maybe selling real estate, but times are changing, and the industry has changed, and life itself has changed. Everything now is very social media, is very on your phone, online. And a lot of these agents, they've been putting their ads in the penny saver for 40 or 50 years. I don't really think that's what's going to sell houses anymore. So I think that you need to adapt and you need to educate. And the same way, like these people that we're speaking of, maybe they don't need to educate themselves on real estate or sales, but maybe they could go home and Google how to put up a YouTube video or how to shoot a Facebook Live or one of those things and adapt to the marketplace instead of getting upset that somebody 26 years old working 100 hours a week is doing well.
Yeah, you're working harder, you're working smarter, and the results show, which means
sir.
instead of hating on you, they should just do what you're doing.
Do exactly, yes. 100%.
Dude, show me around. Let's take a look at this place.
All right, let's do it.
So what do we got here?
So this is 3129 Judith Drive in Belmore. This was the house that we did the jet ski video for. We were able to sell this in a day. And as you saw, we just had a disgruntled buyer / neighbor come up and kind of start crying because she was outbid on the house.
Yeah.
So it's done, yeah. But look, I'm not joking. So I don't know if you can see it. I'm sorry.
You saw he went up to 1.2.
I know, but it was just, at that point it was too late.
We didn't know we were losing it. You said at 4:30. I can't.
So these
get
are-
a contract
I know
today.
it was just a perfect storm.
That
Yeah.
was like we.
You got to stick to the number, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you're going to be overpaying a little bit for the house, but that's just the market right now.
In the long run, it works out if you really want it. That's what the real deal is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're talking X amount of number, if you get enjoyment out of the house and you get use out of the house, well, that number then is worth it.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's take a look inside.
All right, follow me. Come on in.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It was completely renovated inside on the main level, the lower level. So as you see, you have LVT plank flooring throughout. The seller did this because when you're going in and out of the pool and going in and out of the ocean, if you have hardwood or laminate, it kind of deteriorates over time.
Yeah.
So that's why he did the LVT plank. You have he upgraded all of the appliances to stainless steel Thermador appliances. You have the double block center island here, quartz, the farm sink with the unbelievable panorama view.
Yeah, the view is amazing.
You know, the house really sold itself. There was not much aside from anything that we really had to do.
Yeah. Just had to put it together. So where did this infamous jet ski video take place?
So if you guys follow me, this is truly an entertainer's house. I mean, if you look around, you have this stunning living room space here with the 4-pane window. It has a blackout curtain / screen that's automatic that comes all the way down, all the way up. So if you want like complete darkness for movie theater room, whatever, if you have the Islander game on, you could do that as well. He just did an unbelievable job with it. So I'll show you where we shot the jet ski video. Just very, very peaceful and very tranquil out here.
Yeah, it is. Look at that view, dude.
Beautiful view. You have the saltwater gunite pool, heated. But so this is where we shot the infamous jet ski video. Basically, the way that it worked out is I got the listing Friday at 10 a.m. I found one of my buddies who has a jet ski. I was like, listen, I need a pretty big favor from you. So he was able to kind of get the day off of work, drop the jet ski in at the Wantagh drop, which happens to be right behind that block of houses. Jet ski, drove it over here. I had the suit on. I threw shorts on. Literally hopped on the jet ski, did one take, drove it, literally to where that little the island is, and then that was it. Then I hopped off. He hopped on. Probably had fun, and we kept doing the video. Everybody, Dan O'Neill here with the O'Neill team. Today we are at 3129 Judith Drive in Belmore. This beautiful waterfront listing, 52-foot floating dock, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, full finished basement. This house has it all. Any excuse we have to blow our listings out of the water, pun intended, you know we're gonna do it. So today, I'm here on this jet ski. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna show you guys a quick tour, and I'll see you later.
Views did you get across all the media streams?
Now it's probably close to 40,000, but
Wow.
in the first 36 hours, we surpassed 30,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm sure your client's super pumped about everything.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
I mean, think about it. We just came to the house now. He still lives here,
Yeah.
and we're able to do what we're doing now. So he's very, very excited, very pleased. Unfortunately, some of the neighbors who wanted the house are not as pleased with me, but win
What
some.
are you gonna do? Yeah, you got to do what's in the client's best interest.
Of
You know,
course.
best deals, best terms.
Yes, sir.
Dude, this is sick. So when you first started, literally 2 years ago, that's what's the most impressive thing,
Thank you.
right? Like, so like in a very short amount of time, with really no experience, and on top of that too, it's not like you come from like a family of a bunch of real estate people and everyone just hooked you up with deals, all right? Not to take anything away from anyone else, I'm just saying.
Of course, of course.
But would you ever imagine that we're sitting here doing this interview literally 2 years later at a property you sold for over $1 million in a day, waterfront, with all the creativity you're doing? Would you ever believe that?
I would laugh in your face. Truthfully, I did a live video while I was here after the first day of showings, and I think it's very important, whatever job you do have, just to be grateful and
Yeah.
to have gratitude. So I was sitting out here one day just after showings, and we just got the offer, and I was honestly mind blown. Like, I can't believe that this actually just happened. Sitting right here, and you can go on Facebook and literally watch it. And I'm saying, like, you know what? With all this stuff going on in the world, with whatever you have, like, I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, I have my family's health, I have my health, and I'm able to do what I love every single day and have fun with it, and it's working.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm very grateful for it, and it's something that I think everybody needs to reflect on really daily, because it always could be worse. Like, on the way here, I have a deal die, the Islanders are getting smoked, and whatever else is going on in the world, listen, it could always be worse.
Yeah.
I watched I'm not like a big TikTok person, but I watched a video last night.
Hey, bro. Let me ask you a question, man. Why you ain't change clothes, bro?
Let me ask you a question. Every time you see me, you gotta ask me a question like you 50 Cent asking people 21 questions.
But bro, you gotta have some hygiene.
Let me
man.
ask you, did you take a bath last night?
Of course, and that's what I'm telling you, man. You gotta have some hygiene,
Well,
man.
congratulations, because I'm homeless and now I have the luxury to take a bath every night and wash clothes like that. So be grateful for what you got and stop always talking about people and stuff. That's what's wrong with people. They always talking about people instead of trying to help them and stuff. Just thank God that you able to take a bath and change your clothes every night. I might have them on the next day and the next day and the next day. That's between me and God. You worry about yourself. Any more questions?
You good,
Oh,
bro.
I'm right down what I thought. Have a blessed day.
So I mean, yeah, I saw that video too, and that's something that really impacted me, because I think a lot of people spend too much time feeling sorry for themselves, getting upset, not reaching, forgetting that they're already wealthy, and all they got to do is get what's already available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about perspective too. We as a team put together $3 or $4 million deals this week, and listen, you know what? If I pass somebody on the side of the road that's asking for money, or if you see someone that is in need of help, you got to lend a hand. And I'll never forget. Like the point of the question was, did you ever think you'd be here in 2.5 years? And the answer is no. So daily, I know that, and I always remember that, and I will always remain humble, and that plays in the back of my mind each and every single day. Tomorrow, honestly, any one of us could be in that situation of that video that we just watched.
Yeah.
All of this could potentially crumble down on us for whatever reason, and we could be in that gentleman's shoes. So, it's very important to always remember that. But no, I would never imagine I'd be here with you right now.
Well, dude, I mean, this is just the beginning. That's what I love about this story. Like, this is not even close to the end.
Thank you.
Here's what I will say. We still have a convo on the way, we still got to go home and have a convo that way. But,
Absolutely.
Wrapping up here at the house, if you've been actually working on a dream, if there's something you wanted to do, both me and Dan, we had visions, and then we bring ourselves to where we're at today, but that's just the beginning chapter. But wherever you're at, you really need to just wake up and believe in you. Don't wait for someone else or something to push you. If you'll notice, everyone's story is the same. No one came and just lifted them and said, okay, you're gonna become something. They just decided. So if you accept the fact that things are bad in your life, then you're gonna have a bad life. But if you don't accept it and accept the fact that you can have a great life, then that's what you'll have.
Bam, bam.
Dan, thank you, man. You're such an inspiration, man. I love you, dude.
That was
You're
knowledge
awesome.
right there.
All right. Well, that was a short little break. Thanks for showing me the house, and we had to, obviously get the Instagram candy.
Of course. We definitely got some good shots. It's going to be tough to choose which one to post.
It really is. Dude, so as we start to make the ride back now, I'm really wondering, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that are watching, obviously you've built a brand now, and it's taken a little, taking some time to build it, but in the beginning you had no brand, right?
Right.
You got started with nothing. What are some actual activities you did? How did you go about it, and what did you do? What did you say? So people can really figure out how to get started here.
Yeah, so I mean, from the very get-go, nobody's just going to hand you any business, any listings, any buyer deals. So you really have to create your own business and create your own lead source. So in the very beginning, I did a lot of for sale by owners. I did a lot of expireds. I would study scripts and then basically just call as many people as I possibly could until I found my own script that worked and that made sense. So oftentimes I would go there and I would bring somebody that I knew, pretending that they were a buyer, oftentimes my father. And it wasn't until my spot got blown up that I stopped doing that. But I would bring my father around, pretend like he was a buyer. I would door knock on every house I possibly could in the middle of winter time. I got my license, I think, in the first week of March, second week of March. So basically, when I first got started, I'd bring my father around to for sale by owners, and we would pretend like he was a buyer. And it wasn't until we got our spot blown up. Basically, he had a landscaping company and truck, so it would say O'Neill and Wellishar on his truck.
Oh my God.
And my father knows, construction and whatever, so I would take him to these houses and I'd be like, listen, just don't say anything. Just pretend like you were a buyer. Just don't say a word. So of course my father's in everyone's shower and he's moving around the shower head and whatever. So finally the guy happened to be a detective, looks out of his front door, sees my dad's truck all the way down the street, knew right away, called me out. Long story short, he wound up giving me the listing, and it kind of snowballed and snowballed, yeah.
So how did that get turned around?
He just respected the hustle. So from there, he's given me a ton of business, but the main point of it was just, I was doing for sale by owners. I was creating my own business. I was on social media. I texted, I emailed, I Facebook messaged every person I knew, every friend that I had. Hey, I just got my real estate license, or hey, I don't know if you saw, I'm in the real estate industry. If you know anyone looking to buy, sell, rent, invest, please let me know. And I was just basically pounding the concrete, because nobody's going to hand you a listing from the start. Nobody's going to trust you to be their buyer representative from the very start, the buyer's agent.
Yeah.
You have to create your own business.
Absolutely.
So that's really cold calling, canvassing, door knocking, and my sphere of influence were really how I got jump started.
Wow. And the thing is, I guess people got to realize, like, they shouldn't be afraid to screw up or get called out, or someone actually find out that they're new. Like, getting exposed is the best thing that can happen, because look, like, you took a risk, and the guy even called you out, and he gave you business, and it helped you really grow from there.
That was one of the biggest, like, that turning point, and that gentleman who is still referring me business to this day was like the turning point in my career, because once he gave me that listing, that's $750,000, now I had ammo to go to everyone else and say, oh, I just did this here, and then it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. And of course, social media is a big thing with it too.
Yeah.
Like, we post our stuff on social media, not to necessarily brag, but so that people know what we're doing.
Right.
Hey, we just sold XYZ for this price. Now people that see that in the community or in the neighborhood are like, holy smokes, like, if they just got that price for that house, what can I get for mine?
Right.
So a lot of it was building the brand on social media as well, because in the very beginning, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows your brand.
Right.
So you have to create it somehow.
And that's the thing too, like, what I really want people to understand is that brand is important, but in the beginning it's meaningless. You give it meaning through your activities and what you're doing. Yeah. So, you're not just going to create a nice logo and a nice website and people will be like, yeah, sell my house.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Nope. Branding is really a lot of it at this level now.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, it's more so just getting your feet wet. It's getting in front of as many people as you possibly can, sellers, buyers, family, whoever. And then once you get to a certain level, then it's very much so about your brand and your marketing. And when people see you or see your name or your logo, they should immediately associate you with your brand and know that they're going to be getting the top quality service.
Yeah, 100%. So, speaking of top quality service, what are some things you do that really stands out, that are some creative ideas that someone could really understand as a differentiator? So when they're growing their business, they can understand, like, that's going to the next level. Because being honest, being on time, always answering your phone, doing open houses, like, that's like, that's a prerequisite. Yeah. That's not a requirement. So
right.
What's the real thing? What's that service? What's that aspect of it for you?
I think for me and my team, it's a lot of the listing videos that we're doing. And again, it doesn't have to be following that footsteps. It could be your own creative idea.
Yeah.
But for me, I saw a lot of interesting ideas and a lot of really cool videos that were being done in, like, LA, Beverly Hills, and certain areas that I wanted to mold myself off of. So I learned from what these people were doing, whether it was on TV or YouTube or whatever it is, and I just put my own spin on it. And now I'm just doing things that I want to do, having fun and creating, really good marketing for these houses that we're selling.
Yeah.
So I think anyone can do that. It doesn't have to be a video. It could be anything.
Absolutely.
Brian Karp sends cookies to his sellers. At a closing table, he sends a cookie of his face to all of his different sellers.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very genius, creative, and branding idea.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's the videos.
Yeah. Awesome. It's so important.
So that could really be. It doesn't have to be the videos, but it could be anything. I think for us specifically, a lot of people know us from the videos that we're doing.
Yeah.
You're now starting to see, like, other agents kind of replicate the videos that we're doing, which is awesome. That means that we're doing something right. We're inspiring somebody else.
Yeah.
So I think for us, the branding really is the standing out in that aspect of videos. And I think it's also just some of the accomplishments that we've been able to do so far. Selling something in a day, setting a new neighborhood record. People kind of, the rumor mill goes and people find out.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, there's some young blood in the industry, and people are definitely respecting it.
Yeah. Here's a really interesting component too that I think a lot of people don't realize. You could do the best job in the world, but no one's gonna brag about you better than you. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, a lot of people are raised to, like, keep low key or be humble or
right.
And the thing is that, like, when you market or you talk about your wins, you're not being arrogant. But the reality is that, like, if you're not talking about you, who's going to talk about you?
100%. And I think it's also success stories for the sellers. Like, some people think that because there's an agent in their area for the last 30 or 40 years that they have to use that person, that there is nobody else.
Right.
They feel as if they're tied to their agent that maybe didn't do a good job by them. So more than anything, it's just sharing these amazing success stories where the seller or buyer goes home extremely happy. And, we're not dealing with, and it's not to say anything bad, but it's not like we're selling a cell phone. It's not like we're selling something, minute. It's really people's biggest investment, really, in theory. So people work their whole lives for this kind of stuff.
Right.
So to be able to maximize their every dollar on their when they're selling, to then take the next step in their life is huge. Or on the buyer side of things, to be able to get a house for somebody where there's 10, 15 offers, or to get a house for somebody and save them 10, 15 grand, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or even more. So, those success stories, they're not meant to be bragging, they're more so to showcase this is what we're able to do for people, because we are making a difference.
Yeah, 100%. And you got to realize that. So, I mean, what makes you wake up every morning? How do you stay pumped? And
I try and set just extreme goals every single day, every single month, every single year that I want to achieve. One of them being, I want to buy my mother a house. So that really gets me up 6 a.m. every single day. Like, that needs to happen. And on top of that, I'm fueled by wanting to make a difference within the community. It's something we touched on the way to the house. I want to make a difference. I want to be the change. There's a 9 out of 10 failure rate in the business. I want to be a leading catalyst to that change.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have been stuck in their own ways for a very, very long time, doing business a certain way, almost like the wild, wild west within the real estate community. So I want to be the voice, and I want to be, or at least part of the voice and a part of the change.
Right.
And if I can do that with my platform and with my following and whatever social media, I want to take that on head on. So I genuinely want to be the change within the industry, or again, help be a part of the change, and be a leading catalyst to really shake things up in this business, because I think it's been a long time coming.
That's awesome, dude. And that's really worthy of support. And speaking of that, like, in addition to what you want to do for your family, your mom, and what you want to do, and also you're giving people a lot of opportunity by growing a team, because a lot of people come in and they may not be certain how to do real business or how this works, and then by having guidance and opportunity, it helps. It goes a long way. But you've also helped people, and you're very philanthropic. Just recently during COVID, I mean, tell me a little bit about that, because that was really cool.
Yeah, so I was raised, doing philanthropy, giving back. My father used to always take us on Sunday, they did like an outreach through the Lighthouse mission. So we would go there and we would hand out food, and we would do it for a few hours. We would go volunteer at the soup kitchens. When I was younger, I ran an event with my buddy Anthony Polino at his restaurant, where at Thanksgiving we would basically create, whatever, or make 200 turkeys, 250 meals, and we would invite anyone who was homeless, or really just anyone that didn't have anywhere to go. Yeah. And we would feed them, and we'd have a great day. So the philanthropy started when I was younger, and I've done it my entire life. But most recently with COVID, we realized, hey, listen, there's some serious stuff going on right now, and unfortunately the healthcare providers weren't necessarily getting the proper, I don't know, thank you, I guess, in a sense, with everything going on, politics and so on and so forth. So long story short, we started with a $10,000 donation. We went to a couple local restaurants, La Familia, Legends, and Kings Park, and we would go and we would donate to the day shifts, to the night shifts. We would donate some very nice meals. Yeah. It was some really high class food. And then it started that other people wanted to contribute as well. So we opened up the GoFundMe through social media and Facebook. And within the first week, we were able to raise 20 grand.
Wow.
$20,000. So we took that 20,000 and we went and we donated to the local restaurants. They made us food. So it worked out both ways, because we were able to help, the police stations, the fire departments, the hospitals, Stop and Shop, but we were also able to give the restaurants business, who were really hurting at that time too. So it was a double win. We did a really great job. We affected a lot of lives. We did the VA hospitals, the fire departments, the police, the precincts, and the hospitals. And it was just a really sobering and great and very humbling experience, because we go through stuff on a day-to-day basis, but I don't think that any of what we go through really compares to what those people were dealing with at that time, with their masks on for 15, 16 hours at a clip, dealing with people that were unfortunately losing their lives every day. So it just puts everything into perspective, and it was such an amazing experience for me. Yeah. And the team as well. And shout out to them for all the help that they did with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, it's kind of incredible that, like, you acted so fast, because I remember COVID, when you did that, you started promoting that, this was like brand new.
Yeah, it was like the height of it. It was kind of scary, to be honest with you. Like, we were going into some of these hospitals, and at that point you didn't know anything. So it's like, I would have somebody go, "Oh, thank you so much," and touch my arm, and I'm like, there was one where we went to Mather Hospital. I'm sorry, it was Stony Brook Hospital, and it was like this. It was like something out of like Chernobyl. Like, It was like a scary movie, and we're like, they're ushering us in, and they're like, "Oh, but you can't pass this point," like spraying us down with like mist and Lysol, and like we're sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I love doing this, but this is getting a little bit scary because we didn't know what,
Yeah.
So we were doing it like the height of it, and it was more so like we as a business, we couldn't do anything at that time.
Yeah.
Everything was shut down.
Yeah.
So for us, it was also something where we were able to feel like we were making a difference. And it was good for everyone.
100%, and that's really awesome. And I think anyone who's watching needs to understand that it's not just about making money. It's about creating opportunity, because it looks like you're not in the quest. From what I look at, Dan O'Neill's not trying to get rich. Dan O'Neill's trying to create wealth for his people, and that's how he's going to get wealthy.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important, because in addition to that, what do you do when everyone's retreating and holding back and tightening up their wallet? Which it's not a criticism on them.
No, yeah.
What you're doing is you're going out there and you're actually saying, all right, it's time to give. And you're going to businesses. You're not going to Costco or ordering canned stuff and handing them out.
Yeah.
You're going to local restaurants, ordering food from them, and then delivering good quality meals to people,
Yeah.
which is boosting morale and also helping those small businesses. That's awesome.
Some of the messages that we received from people were like, again, it's just sobering, man. I don't think hopefully the motive behind anything should not be always money driven. Of course, we all strive for financial freedom. The work week, we would like to create our own hours, but at the end of the day, I'm not doing this, and I know you're the same. We're not doing this to get rich.
No.
It's to make a difference.
That's right.
And that was really the biggest thing, and I felt that was a perfect opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to be successful that way. Because I feel like when you're working to help people, when you're just doing the right thing, when you're working with your team and you're helping the community, the money just comes with it anyway.
You said something that was really interesting and that I continue to think about. So there's a lot of people that like root for my team and my success in a way that are even in the business, truthfully.
Yeah.
And I think that reason is because it's very, you can tell right away when someone's in it to make a quick buck, when someone's in it to get rich quick. So when you said to me the other day that I have a lot of people that root for me because I am very humble and it's fun to see me succeed.
Yeah.
That has been in my brain since you said it, and I think it's very true, because it could easily be the opposite, where it's like, all right, you know what, we're done with this kid, like, we're not rooting for success anymore, we're sick of sold, they're in a Rolls Royce, like, we're sick of them.
Yeah.
But my genuine character, in the same way that you are, I'm incredibly humble, and I think that portrays, throughout social media, and when people meet me and the team, and same thing with you.
Yeah.
And I think if you're the opposite and you're money driven, people can smell you from a mile away.
Yeah, and they sense that there's no sincerity, and for that reason, they don't want to flow any power to you.
Yep.
And
Because then you're feeding into it even worse. And there are people in this business and other businesses that are that way. And I think that you can tell right away.
Absolutely. No, you can. It really is. When you're an inspiration to people, they're rooting for you. They're doing well. It's funny. To Charles, episode 1. He's a good friend of both of us, and what I was even explaining to him, I said, dude, you go out there, you inspire people, you educate people. People invest with you, which means every single day people wake up in the morning hoping you're doing well.
Yeah.
And I love what you're doing, because it's such a young age. And the thing is that it's not even about the age; it's also about the amount of time in it. It's so impressive to me, and I like that you're willing. Like, if someone wants to know something from you, all they gotta do is ask.
Yeah.
Right.
I talk to people all the time where they'll just call me for advice or they're for help. I don't get anything out of that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, and I'm sure that you get as well. But you know what? It's the right thing to do, and you're putting that positive energy out into the world.
Yeah. And that's even why we created this show. Look, the cars are really cool, but in reality, we just wanted a way to really just get an environment instead of sitting in the studio, go out there and help people out.
Yep.
And it's a good excuse for me to drive all these cars.
I mean, this is just a brilliant idea. I'm happy that you did it, and I'm upset that I didn't think of it first.
It's all right. Well, at least you would have had me as a guest, right?
Number one, baby, number one. But no, this really is such an amazing idea, and I think it's going to be very educational. You're having Charles on, me, Juan, some of the other people that you're having. It's going to be very, very educational for the first-time agent, but also just for an entrepreneur in itself.
Yeah.
Like, we're small business owners.
We are.
This is not the day that you consider yourself just a real estate agent is probably the day that you're not going to succeed. You really have to think of it as if you're your own business.
Yeah.
The same way that you have yours is the same way that we need to look at our own individual businesses as well. And that's where the branding comes into it, and that's where the marketing and so on and so forth. But if you look at yourself just as a real estate agent, probably not going to go very far.
No, definitely not. It's because there's so much more to it.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is that what you got to realize is you're actually not even in the real estate business. You're in the people business.
Yep.
So you got to really have your strategies based off of that, not just off of like these houses that have no feeling or emotion, because you're not dealing with them, you're dealing with people.
Yeah. And it's consumers, buyers, sellers, but it's also agents as well.
Yeah.
So you're only as good as like your relationships with other people.
Yeah.
So you never want to be the agent, and I pride myself on this right now, where I try and do good by everyone so much that if I have a buyer on someone else's listing, the selling agent, the listing agent wants to work with me or my team.
Yeah.
Because they know that we're going to get the job done. They know of the reputation. And it's the same thing when I have listings, or my team, they want to come and sell our listings because they know it's a fair price, it's a good, good deal, fun, easy to work with. But if you become the person where, XYZ is a listing agent, oh God, I'm not going to hear back for a week.
Oh my God, someone gave us the finger.
Really?
That old lady gave us the finger.
That's so funny.
Oh my God, I wish we had that on camera.
If you're the agent that nobody wants to work with,
Yeah.
you're not going to succeed. And there are a lot of those where you see they have the listing, that's, oh God, now I have to wait a week to get in touch with them. You never want to be that person. So it's relationships between consumers and clients, customers, but it's also agents within the business.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. There's a whole aspect to it. And also working against each other doesn't really help.
No.
You make a lot more money when you work with each other.
And it just makes everyone's life so much easier.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. That's by far the most important thing. So, I mean, obviously, when you start building a brand, just so people understand this, there's a time to grind, and there's also a time to invest. There's different phases for different things. Like, you can't just grind your way through, but there's appropriate times for that, and you can't just kind of like weasel away through where there's a time you have to make real investments.
Right.
So you're at a point where I believe you're investing heavily in your business too.
Absolutely.
What are some of the investments you're making?
So when you hit a certain point, you need to start putting money back into the business.
Yeah.
And I think you should be investing in your business from day one, but if you have $0 to your name and you're just getting started, where do you do that? And that's
Right.
where the cold calling and the for sale by owner and stuff that way come from. But once you hit a certain point and now you are able to put money back into the business, you 100% should be doing that. So a lot of our lead source and lead gen come from Zillow, the most hated lead source in the world, but Zillow is a big source of that. Realtor.com, Trulia. We do a lot of website leads, so we spend X amount of money a month, so that way we have a professional and proper website. And a lot of it is signage too. Anytime we have an open house, you'll see my signs everywhere, or our signs everywhere. Anytime we have a new listing, you'll see the agent on my team, they have a sign, or I have a sign. So it's really, the more that you can just put in front of everybody, the better it's going to be. And of course, the Zillow and the Trulia and the Realtor.coms, of course those are going to be important, your website leads. If I'm a new agent, I would choose my target niche area, like for me it's 3 Village.
Yeah.
And I would see, if you get a deal, say it's a $500,000 house, let's say you make 10 grand, you put some money aside for your taxes, you put some money aside for your rainy day fund, you put some money aside for your necessities, and then the rest should be going right back into your business.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going and buying Gucci shoes, you shouldn't be going and buy a watch. Like, to this day, I don't even buy anything. Like, aside from my car, a watch, maybe like 1 or 2, and maybe suits that I got at Caraco's, 3 for $5.99. You would never think that, I don't go and spend money on myself. I put it back into the business. And by me doing that for 2 years, it has taken my business and my team's business to the next level.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to put it back. Don't get sucked into the hype.
Nope.
Don't go on YouTube and look at people driving Rolls Royces. Right?
Although I'll tell you what, these seats are the most comfortable my butt has ever felt. So
Yeah.
I might, I don't know,
It is
maybe.
really comfortable, right? It's crazy.
But that's the thing. Like, everybody, you make a quick dollar, and then all of a sudden it's, I'm gonna go spend it. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do that. If you take the money that you're making, you make sure you have a rainy day fund. You make sure that you have money for your taxes and whatever, and then the rest of it goes right back into the business. You're going to be doubling and tripling and whatever. You're going to be 10 times, 10xing your money.
100%.
The first 2 years, that's not true. My first year and a half, I was so scared of like taxes and, having to give the IRS money and so on and so forth that I didn't spend $1 on myself.
Yeah, I mean, but you did the right thing, because a lot of people do it the opposite.
Yeah.
They don't think about taxes at all, but by the way, do a test to someone. Ask them, hey, what's your biggest expense? They'll never say taxes. They'll say their mortgage or something else that's actually taxes. What they do is they get stuff and they don't pay taxes, and then, they end up in a whole world of hurt because of that. All right. I'm gonna bring this big ass boat here. So we're gonna order McDonald's and a Rolls Royce. This has always been my dream. This is what happens when you make it.
We're here filming episode 2. JB's newest podcast.
Hi, I can help you.
Hi, what would you like, Dan?
Just get your Happy Meals, right?
Yeah, can I have 2 Happy Meals, please? We'll do. You like cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
Two cheeseburgers. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
With the apple slices or with the extra fries?
Applesauce, right?
Or I think he said fries.
Oh, fries.
Okay. And for the drink?
Applesauce.
Do you have apple juice?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
And anything else?
I think it's good, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Just the applicants today?
Yes, that's all.
Alright, no problem. You can close to the first one. It'll be $8.89.
Thank you.
So we just ordered Happy Meals
With apple juice.
with apple juice in a Rolls Royce at McDonald's. Doesn't get much better than this.
And now we gotta pay. Thank you.
Got the apple juice bag
you go.
secured.
Thank you. This is for you.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, you too. This is for me.
In the Rolls Royce. This is unbelievable. 2 Happy Meals. We got our apple juice. I would say this was a successful podcast. Would you?
Absolutely. I just need to make sure I don't scratch these wheels on the way out.
Oh God. Oh God. All right. Any last words?
Be great, guys. Be great. And one day when you get a Rolls Royce, make sure you live up the life and get yourself a Happy Meal.
Amen. Amen.
I can't find cup holders in this $350,000
I know, me neither.
car.
Me neither. I don't know what to do with my hands. Cheers.
Cheers. Look, we want to give a huge thank you to Cloud9 Exotics. They're really the premier place. They've supplied us with the Rolls Royce Dawn. They have a wide selection of vehicles, and whether you're looking just for a cruise for a couple hours, a whole day, or even a day on the track, call Cloud9 Exotics. They're just an amazing group to work with, and we look forward to doing a lot more. Thank you, Cloud9.
Thank you.
There we go. Let's just
Step on it.
straighten out. And shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's fast, bro. That torque. For how big this thing is?
Yeah, dude. It's like,
You get like a second of that lock-up G-force.
yeah.
Probably not as bad as when
crap.
you were going 120 last week, but
Oh, no. You mean 55. I was going 55 last week, yeah.
55.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm honored to be the number 2 guest. It means the world.
Dude, you rock, bro. Look forward to doing many more things together. Cheers.
Cheers.